Speaking of Orange, though, our night kicked off with Orange Cassidy versus Jay Lethal. Other pale people and ginger features.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're not talking about Jay Lethal. Just so everybody knows.
Oh my god.
Like, or Jay Lethal, or any of his people for that matter.
I was going through the list, and Jarrett's the only one.
That man is tan as fuck, so he doesn't count either. I mean, yeah, he's a white dude, but he's browner than I am right now.
So, the start of this match, the commentary team is just going over how there's big changes to this match, and if anyone from Lethal's group interferes at all, Sanjay Dutt is fired.
Yeah.
If Satnam gets involved, fired. If Jeff Jarrett gets involved, fired.
Yeah. See, and you can't get rid of Sanjay Dutt. He's carrying the company right now, man.
My part is, match starts off and Lethal's calling for him, and they're coming down the stairs into the crowd to sit right where they're always on camera. Commentary sees, obviously, the guy who's over 7 feet tall. They notice Jarrett, but Sanjay Dutt was so far ahead of him and did not stick out nearly as much, and they didn't think he was there until they all were sitting at ringside. They're like, oh yeah, there he is.
Yeah. I was like, no, he's there. You just couldn't really see him because he was halfway down the stairs already. And he's tiny.
See, one thing about being shorter than tall people, you have to move your legs faster to keep the same pace, right? Well, when you're going on arena steps, that definitely favors the smaller, faster, quicker steps.
Yeah.
He's moving down them stairs.
Yeah, that's true. Them little legs just...
Like, because a super tall person would have to shorten their stride by so much, but it's so much closer to our wheelhouse.
Yeah, it feels weird to me walking in arena steps.
And they're already steep as hell anyway, typically.
Yeah. I think that's why I don't ever really like to drink very much when I go to any kind of arena, because them steps, man.
I hate them sober.
Treachery. I will bust my ass one day, and it won't be pretty.
Now see, Danhausen came to bust their ass because he shows up in security outfit and he wants to check their tickets. He was disappointed that they actually pulled tickets, so he calls out, and I think he said there was like 6 seats, so best friends come from the opposite side, just pushing their way through all the people sitting ringside to sit right behind them.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice that they were the best friends at first. I just thought Chuck was a regular wrestling fan, because that guy just looks like he's just a wrestling fan who just somehow ended up in the ring.
Like, how did Rodney go to work today and he make it all the way to Fresno?
I don't know. A quick flight.
They went to them a lot, as you talked about. It was a good wrestling match, but it was a comedy match.
Yeah. Strong wrestling, but pure comedy. Because everything was funny during this match. Like, when you get Sanjay Dutt and Danhausen out there at the same time, and something's gonna make you laugh.
But Sanjay Dutt knows he can't do anything. So, like, Chuck pours the popcorn on his head, and he can't do anything. It's like, I can't get fired. But,
he need his job.
Eventually, Bryce goes over to him, and he's, like, talking with Dutt, like, thinking that he's getting involved. And Dutt's like, no, I don't want to get fired. Jeff Jarrett's, like, leaning behind the ref, giving Lethal his guitar. But, man, Danhausen took that like a running back out of the backfield. Just ran right past him, grabbed that shit.
He took that handoff perfectly. Danhausen was the star of this match. Like, he pretty much won this match here because everybody's distracted by the fact that Danhausen has the guitar. And then he slips back into the ring with Orange Cassidy. And then Lethal slips back into the ring with him, and he's ignoring Orange Cassidy and only going for Danhausen. It's like the guy who's got the belt is right there, though. So,
Right.
wah.
Because Lethal had the advantage. Danhausen goes like he's gonna curse him. Like, starts to act like he's playing it, yells something. Then he chases him all the way around the ring. Walks into a Casadora roll up, kicks out, and an orange punch in the match.
Yeah, this was funny fun, and I enjoyed it.
About only half the focus was on the actual match because there was that much comedy going on around.
Yeah, there was so much going on around. It was almost like we were watching a comedy where they just randomly cut to a fight that was just happening for some reason. And it was just, I loved it though.
So after the match, Statnum goes to get in there, grabs both the best friends. Dutt's trying to stop everybody from getting physical. You and I are just in there like, the match is over.
Yeah. They said you couldn't do anything in the match. So what does this have to do with the match? He can choke everybody if he wants to with his giant fucking hands.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, like, I know they didn't say interfere in the match. They talked about getting physically involved. I can't remember if they said altercations at all, but you're at a wrestling company. How are you going to tell people they can't fight the whole night?
Yeah. Literally everyone is there to fight, except for MJF.
At one point, you see, after Satnam does let them both go, Trent had just fallen to his ass, and he's in there, he never spilled his popcorn, just sitting there on his ass, eating his popcorn still. He's like, "What's wrong with you, dude?"
Hey. It must have been some good popcorn. That's all I gotta say. I would like to try the popcorn. As long as it's not any of the ones that was on the floor.